mean? Like that pervasive fear of speaking up or of making mistakes or of, challenging a supervisor or someone who's a leader in a company or even just questioning the status quo. Like, I mean, I see it when I just post stuff on LinkedIn. If I'm like critical about something, I had to post on, what was it, on extinction. And like it just blew up. And it was like, people are like, how dare you think this is a this and this is a that? And I was like, no, that's your interpretation of the intervention that like you went through. And I might have struck a chord there. I'm talking about it as a scientific principle of the discipline and what it is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. There is no such thing as good or bad. It's just that's a principle. It's the application of it. But like directly, and like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, how does that fear that people have, like, how does that directly and fundamentally undermine just everything about our field from an ethical and effective application of principles?
Yeah, so one thing that we can see in using different language, but in the psychological safety literature, as well as in like the OBM and EBA literature, is that people learn from what is going on around them and observing it, right? So it doesn't have to happen to you. You can see it happen to someone else and you can learn from that operant experience. So that means when you are observing a lack of psychological or behaviors that are not psychologically safe occurring around you, you are learning from that experience, and that's going to change the way that you show up in the future. And I think that happens from the top down in your organization, from your CEO to the RBT who's literally walking in day one, but also to our clients. So if we're creating environments where people can't speak up, where people can't say no, where they can't self-advocate, clinicians are going to show up and still have that expectation of their clients too. And that's hugely problematic when we're thinking about working with vulnerable populations. I did actually pull this up ahead of time, but I found this citation from a meta-analysis that 80% of women and 30% of men with developmental disabilities will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime, and half of those women will be 10 or more times. So if we're thinking that saying yes to everything and not being able to self-advocate is acceptable for us in the workplace, that's how we're going to approach programming, right? Because that's our learning history now. Like, that is not acceptable.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Well, if I said, Sean, can I have a hug? What would your answer be?
Hey, from you, I'll take it. Like, I love it.
You said yes. Awesome. That means we can hug. Right? Well, if you said no, what does that mean? It means not to hug you.